What's up, everybody? I'm Alan Seslowsky. Thanks for tuning back into RosterWatch. Each week on this video, we'll provide you with sneaky $0 pickups that you can add to your roster today after the first run of waivers is executed. The second run of the waiver wire was often how you gain an edge in fantasy football. Not only by the players that your league mates missed on and left on the scrap heap, but also players that were cut from your league mates' rosters. Heading into Week 11 for the fantasy football season, waiver wire strategy dramatically changes. We need to load our benches up with players that fall into two categories. Number one are high-yield handcuffs, players that will walk right into a lead market share of touches if the starter goes down. This applies mostly to the running backs. The second category are players that have literal league-winning upside. Now, I know that term league-winning is overrated in fantasy circles, myself included. But league winning is actually literally applied in this situation. Today, we're going to give you three players that you could pick up today that could help you bring home a fantasy football championship. The first player I'd like to talk to you about is Jalen Hurts, the quarterback on the Philadelphia Eagles, only 1% rostered. The Eagles surprised most when they drafted rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts in the second round of the real NFL draft. Usually a second-round pick is a player that most teams expect to make immediate contributions. Currently, the Eagles quarterback, Carson Wentz, is in his prime, so the pick raised some eyebrows. Saturday players, college players who dominate, don't always translate to dominating on Sundays once they get in the NFL. However, the magnitude of Hurts' college production, specifically as a runner, is intriguing from a fantasy football perspective. Hurts last year at Oklahoma, he threw for a very respectable 3,850 yards with 32 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. The upside when it comes to fantasy are when QBs rush the ball. And Jalen Hurts had an eye-popping 1,300 rushing yards, 20 rushing TDs. Carson Wentz has an injury history and has not been playing his best football consistently this season. There is a path where Hurts makes some starts this year, and there is QB1 overall upside with Jalen Hurts. That is reason enough to find a roster spot and stash him at the bottom of your fantasy football roster, even in one QB leagues. The next player I want to talk to you about is Deontay Foreman, the running back on the Tennessee Titans, only 1% rostered. We told you to consider Foreman last week on this video for a $0 bid. He's only 1% rostered, so he still belongs in this video. Foreman mixed in for snaps in place of Derrick Henry on the team's first offensive possession and was left wide open on a rollout and was hit by Ryan Tannehill for a score last week. Foreman's role continues to grow slightly each week, and in 2019, let's remember that Derrick Henry missed Week 16. If Henry is held out or saved for the real playoffs, Foreman is in a good spot to be part of that championship run for your fantasy football team. Foreman may not yield any reliable production until then, or ever at all. But he's one of those high upside, league-winning type of players that you'll want to keep on your roster for a $0 bid. The last player I want to talk to you about is Devin Singletary, the running back on the Buffalo Bills. Now, he's 75% rostered, so you're probably saying to yourself, how can a player like that, who's nearly 80% rostered, be on a waiver wire list, none much the less a $0 bid list? Now, we told you earlier that the best $0 bid players are not only those players that are left on the scrap heap after the first run of waivers, but often the players that are dropped by your league mates. Let's take a look at Singletary, who's been a disappointment for fantasy. As they head into a bye, Singletary has not produced, especially over the last 6 weeks, where he's only given you one double-digit fantasy point week. It's very possible that a frustrated owner will drop him for one of the hot free agents. Now, the case for Singletary is that he's a good player and a good offense. The weather is now starting to turn into more of a running back type weather. It's colder, it's muckier. The game scripts are going to favor Buffalo to be running the football. So keep an eye out. Should Singletary get dropped by one of your league mates, he makes for a very good $0 bid to add to the end of your roster. And should Zach Moss, his co-starter running back teammate, go down, you're looking at a running back with a top 15 ranking. All right, RosterWatch that's it for today. Remember to like and subscribe to get notifications when we go live, and leave us a comment in the video. We will comment back. Until next time, goodbye.